This video contains strong language not suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's fruit juice. Just really old fruit juice.
Yeah. I'll have
It's
to make
actually
one of
homemade
my
fruit juice.
emotes just like float next to your head, Curtis, every time Abby moves. I'll put a bell and a upvote button.
So yeah, if we're all ready, we can get this ball rolling.
Last time on
Previously on Six White Dudes.
Oh, yeah, we
y'all
were supposed to find a name.
no, I'm gonna roll with Six White Dudes until we add some diversity to this cast.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it'll be 5 white dudes and a lady, or it'll be 6 white dudes and a Zach.
I like that.
Applicable.
Anyway, last time, if y'all remember, y'all made it to Khorom-Vores, which good job, proud of you. After a brief tussle with some of the local wildlife, fairy life, magic life, y'all went through the woods and only pissed off the locals a little bit. And after an attempt to be helpful, Ronan went, I would like to get some firewood, and spear tackled a tree, which angered the natives a little bit, and Lythar was aware enough to give you some warning and be like, we should leave. We've got will-o-wisps, that's bad, we should run. And so with some very, very good driving by Thrall, and with some help from Lythar yelling at the horses in horse, Lami's precise fish throwing to whack one of the tree faces.
Just doing my civil duty.
Mari landing probably one of the greatest shots he's ever done in a carriage at a full sprint through a forest road.
The only damage I've done so far this campaign.
Absolutely blasted one of the faces coming out of these trees, just blasted it in the eye. And as y'all made it to Khorom-Vores, your pursuit stopped as the forest began to get thinner. And once you exited the forest through some of the farmlands outside of Khorom-Vores, you weren't pursued. So as you kind of trickle in, you mosey your way in. You wander through just a more sparsely populated chunk of farmland, ending up in like a little shanty town. You handed, I believe Lythar handed the note to one of the guards, and the guard let you guys in before nightfall. And the last thing, for a couple of you who peeked behind, you saw one tree that was a little taller than the rest of them, staring at you kind of ominously, but not swaying with the rest of the breeze. We kind of skipped forward a little bit, and you guys found lodgings at an inn called Twist and Shout. And you didn't get a room for the dwarf because he didn't really need one. You just kind of covered him with a blanket in the back of the cart.
That's perfect.
Because at this point, like, his breathing is so shallow, he's basically a statue in the back of the car. Like he is more luggage than he was when you left.
I picture him sounding like a harmonica.
Yeah, it's a little less musical and a little more just like, it's a little more like the mechanical sound of a valve.
So like a vacuum cleaner.
Little less Darth Vader, a little less vacuum cleaner. Just you hear like it's more like a compressing like piston moving, and his chest is not moving. You just, if you get really, really close to his face, you can feel air moving out of his nose. But like his beard is completely metal at this point. And it's not like a single piece of metal. It is like all of the individual hairs have become metal.
Oh, no shit.
It's like you're basically driving with a like picture perfect metal core statue. in the back of your wagon. So you throw the blanket over him in the night. And y'all go into the twist and shout. The innkeeper doesn't give you his name. He's like, oh, five of you. All right, head on up. Just like chucks keys at you. He's like, we'll settle up in the morning. I'm about to go to bed anyway. He chomps off to his room. So it's the next morning here in Khorom-Vores. Who wants to wake up first? Who wants to get up and do some stuff?
I will.
Barbarian's
Nice.
awake.
Yeah.
Barbarian's always awake.
Take an initiative.
So Rhoda, you wake up in your room. It's actually pretty well appointed for someone your size. Like it looks
This is cozy.
it looks underused. Like everything's still a little dusty.
It's
But
like home.
but everything is like the proportions are right. You know, the bed is probably 2 feet longer than most of the beds that you would have slept in a normal town. The mirror is higher on the wall. The washstand is bigger. Just everything is 1 or 2 sizes too big for a human, but is perfect for you.
It was a Goliath-sized room.
Goliath or some other large entity could mosey through here.
A tree.
Sure.
The tree staying at the end.
I guess I will get dressed and get all of my gear on, and I'll mosey down and see if the innkeeper boy is there.
So you tromp on down and
Goosh.
yeah, you just kind of mosey down. And walk down the stairs, and inside the main room is probably about 10 decent sized pub tables. Each one's got 3 or 4 chairs. All the chairs are on top of the tables from the last night. Somebody swept and mopped and just tidied up the place. You do not see the older gentleman that you saw last night. You see a younger, basically a kid. He looks to be about 11, and he's standing behind the bar. He looks about 11, but he's standing about 5 feet. He looks to be standing about 5.5 feet tall behind the bar. And he's got like he's polishing the bar like he's done it 1,000 times. He's my thing, and he goes, "Oh, good morning, sir. What can I get you?"
I would like a cask of mead.
For breakfast?
Yes.
Huh.
And also a ham.
Honey ham?
Damn.
What kind of ham?
Like a rump of a ham.
A ham hock, sir. Yes. 1 moment. And he goes and he turns, and as he walks like just a real smart 90-degree turn and tromps off back. And you see he's actually on probably 3-inch platforms on his feet.
Well, that's interesting.
He turns and he walks in, and you hear a bit of rustle and bustle. As he's back in there. Does anyone else want to come down and join the squad?
I'm getting out of bed.
You heard the word mead.
Did someone say mead? So Lami, do you just want to come down? Like, well, unless there's something specific you want to do, we can have you just mosey.
No, I'm just gonna stroll on down.
Okay.
Can Dragonborn be naked, or do they got danglies?
Are you asking me that?
Both. Or no, I'll save that for you, and I'll ask you that when you get down in the morning.
That was as a follow-up question. Lami, are you like fully plated? You're fully plated, or are you in like something a little more casual?
I'm just gonna wear some clothes.
Okay, you're in like streetwear.
Yeah, my PJs.
I'm afraid of what your PJs are made of, but we'll look past that.
They're
Actually, what are
fireproof.
your PJs made of?
They're fireproof, whatever they are.
100% asbestos.
Asbestos.
Asbestos
muffin.
Asbestos is the best.
So Lami kind of strolls in. Where do you want to sit?
I'm gonna sit next to the tiny little Goliath.
Just gonna kind of sit quietly, awkwardly next to him.
I'm just gonna sit, and I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna look at him, and I'm kind of gonna give him a. It's too early. Did you order anything?
Yes, I ordered a ham part and a cask of mead for us to share after you were nice enough to share yours with me the other day.
You know I like you, Tiny.
The friendship begins.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask, how much money did we start out with?
How much should you have had?
Oh yeah, because he didn't get paid by Ron Stoppable.
I'm not even gonna ask Ron Stoppable.
I have questions. God, he's my NPC, and I don't know why you called him that. Equipment. How much did everybody else start with?
I started with like 15.
It's based on your background, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, then I started out with like 2.
Oh, it's based on your back. Okay, I think I picked like 1 or something.
I have 85.
Yeah, Maury, you should probably have like 20 to 25 gold, because you're kind of a skilled artificer. You're not super rich, but you have enough to like survive.
Right.
So the two of you downstairs here, a little more clanging, and out comes the same kid, and he's got holding in this hand, he's just got this huge steaming ham hock with a chef's knife and a meat fork and a couple rings of pineapple stuck onto the end of those. And he walks out to the end of the bar, sets the ham hock down, and gives it a push, and it slides and stops perfectly in front of Ronan. And he's just did the push and turned and started making his way towards a mallet to pop open this keg. And he just kind of walks, he grabs the mallet without looking, and he's basically, the feel you're getting is the fact that this kid could do everything in this bar with his eyes shut. He's done it 1,000 times. He just knows where everything is. And he's just like, he's doing a couple of tricks, just like the kind of things that you do when like you've gotten through the routine, and now you're just seeing like, how can I add a little pizzazz, add a little flair just for fun? Like, how many times can I flip this mallet before I have to catch it and hit the cask? Today the answer is 5. Oh. Gets a nice pop, and he turns, sets the cask down, reaches up, grabs a hammer, pounds a nice little hole into the stave, and then picks up the barrel and sets it down in between the two of you. Goes, I assumed it wasn't all for this gentleman, but if I can get you something separate, just let me know, sir. Can I get you anything to eat?
I think I'll have the same ham, but cooked slightly less, and none of the titty bits.
Titty bits?
The titty bits.
Are you referring
just the ham?
I don't think he wants the pineapple.
I thought he was talking about the utensils. Would you like utensils?
No.
Very good, sir. I'll be right back. And he turns and he walks out, and Lamy, you see that it's like an 11-year-old kid wearing 3-inch stilts.
I'm gonna look over at Ronan and say, well, he's an awfully strange one, isn't he?
Right. Don't know what his deal is.
For some reason in my head, Ronan is now played by Jason Momoa.
No, there would be much more.
So
actually, before you go on, Ronan Dex was played by Jason Momoa in Stargate Atlantis.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes, pretty much.
I hate you. I hate you for that.
I added the word Zelnaga for his middle name.
Okay, so you mixed in congrats, you just mashed 2 sci-fi series together. I'm proud of you. You're never getting a Zat. Never getting a Zat Nicotel.
Why not?
Because I'm gonna shoot you with it first.
Oh.
I shoot it 3 times.
Hey, there are already replicators. I could get a Zat Nicotel.
We'll fight about this later.
Okay.
So around this time, Lythar, like, super elvenly makes his way down the stairs, like makes almost no noise. But he smells cleaner. Like he took the time to bathe before he came downstairs. He kind of just looks around, and he looks a little anxious being around so many people. Not just like being in the tap room with you guys. He's just nervous. He doesn't look comfortable with being in the city.
I'm gonna turn to him and be like, "Oi, elvish friend, come on over."
I'd rather not. I need to take a walk. I'll be back. I'll be back for lunch. And he kind of turns and makes his exit.
Fine. What's wrong with him?
He puts his hood up, like kind of puts a cloak around him, covers his head, kind of just traipses his way out the front door. And then around this time, the barkeep comes back with an identical ham hock without the knife, the fork, or the pineapple.
Yes, the titty bits.
So he sets it down, gives it a push, kind of passes it over to you, and goes from the other end of the bar. He's like, "I need to pop out and run some errands. Are you guys? Do you need anything else? Is there anything else I can get for you?"
How much do we owe you?
How long are you staying for?
Undecided.
Okay.
I have to go to the library.
Oh,
you can read.
Yes, I can read.
Wow. Well, if you can read, and he reaches, like, you don't see him move his hand, but you see him lift his leg, and a menu just like pops up, and he catches it, sets it down, and slides it over to you, and he goes, "There's your here's your breakfast menu, or here's just what we have available, and we'll sort out room prices when you figure out how long you're staying, or we can just count it all at the end and call it a night. All right, sound good?"
I like that one counted at the end.
Okay.
All right. And he gives a very polite, kind of courtly bow, and like turns and disappears out a different side door.
A tip of the hat to you, sir.
Can I roll a reading check to find out how much this ham and mead was?
You don't need to roll a reading check.
A literacy check?
That's just base intelligence. There's a couple of big words on this menu.
I have 10 intelligence.
There's still some big words.
Okay.
There's
Burger.
also
Water.
There's a word that looks like Khorom-Vores, but that's in a very small portion of the back, and there's a lot of big numbers next to them, and that it doesn't say ham hock, so there's really nothing to worry about back there. But no, ham hock, like a full-sized hock of ham like you just had, is like 2 silver.
Okay.
Nothing super impressive. The cask of mead is about 10.
10 silver.
10 silver.
How much
think it's
is
gold.
silver to gold?
I think it's a 1 to 10. It's a 10 to 1 because in D&D they made a money system that made sense.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
They basically were like, "What's the metric system? Let's do that with money."
Hang on, I have an indoor question coming through.
Speaking of indoors,
They
DP,
made
what would you like to
money
do?
that made sense, except for Electrum, which we don't talk about.
Well, we don't use it. That's the American influence. That's the Fahrenheit of D&D money. We just moved past it.
I'm gonna wake up, I guess. I'm gonna head downstairs.
Where's your automaton? Where's your defender, your automaton?
Does he like turn into a little backpack and just like strap himself to you?
He's gonna hang out with me. He's gonna just like kind of follow me behind.
Okay.
Following behind.
Okay.
Clank, 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 clank.
Yeah,
clank,
the two of
clank.
you
I
hear.
didn't take the time to take them apart yesterday, so
The two of you hear. You hear lighter footsteps with some jingling, just like the sound of keys and like little bits of metal, kind of rattling around, and then you hear like tonk 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 tonk, like clomping down the stairs. And you turn and you see the little gnome friend and his like human-sized little machine friend who's just constantly kind of just turning, kind of on alert.
nice. I'm gonna go sit with my friends over there.
Okay.
Well, good morning, sir. Molly. What's your name?
How's it going? Maury.
Maury. I will
Moranis,
do better to
but-
remember. Moranis.
Maury.
Speaking of
Would
Moranis.
you like a piece of ham? And
Yep.
does it eat anything?
No, it's a robot. All right. I'll take
I'm getting
Take a
some
chunk.
breathing from
I think-
somebody.
I think
Getting a
Kendrick's
lot of
knows-
breathing.
Is Kendrick
Kendrick's knows fucking
breathing?
his mic.
Yeah, I'm right here.
He knows fucking his microphone. Real bad.
I'm gonna give Maury a chunk of ham.
Thank God you didn't get any tiddly bits.
The tiddly bits aren't for me.
I like pineapple. I like Kendrick's 2 swirling squares.
It's a good look.
Yeah, man, it's a really good camera you got.
It's not
Hey, you look
working.
thin. Did you like lose weight? Have you been like
Oh, man.
working out a little bit?
Yeah. Also, your dancing is really improved.
Yeah.
Did you
there we
multiply?
go.
Did you split yourself in half?
Oh
That'd be
shit, he's
too easy.
undergoing mitosis.
That's actually just 2 atoms of Kendrick's.
Oh, which
Oh,
Adams?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you. Yeah.
Just miss
What?
your
Yeah,
smiling
Adams.
face like that.
Have you tried
It's-
unplugging it and plugging it back in?
I just plugged it in. I haven't used this thing for years. It might not even fucking work.
But you didn't you have
Set
one
it
that
up on
worked?
Discord.
That was
That was
his-
on my laptop.
Okay, so Maury is here. Hello, Maury.
I took a chunk. I'm gonna nibble on my chunk because it's a pretty big chunk, even though it's just like a tiny little guy. It's pretty big for me.
Because you're
just
on
gonna-
note. Has anyone seen Thrall? Does he wake up? Does he sleep?
Can I be like outside already tending the horses and then kind of walk in?
Ooh.
Yeah, you can have already been out like doing
Yeah.
shit at the crack of dawn.
I'm gonna walk in and ask where Lythar was going. I saw him walk past me with his hood up, and
I
he
don't
didn't talk to
know.
me.
He just kind of was all like weird and twitchy, and he was like, I got when you gotta go, and then he left. We even offered him ham, and he said no, and he left.
It's a weird little elf.
Angry little elf, I think.
I'm
What the
gonna
hell?
walk over to the table and ask where the tiddly bits are.
I have the tiddly bits. Would you like some?
Yeah, I
I'm
would like some pineapple.
Quite a fan of the tiddly bits.
I scooch my
where have
ham
you
closer to
been?
Thrall.
Why are you so awake so early?
Me?
Yes, you came from the outside, not downstairs.
I don't sleep very much.
Well, you know what they say.
I sleep enough to
early-
get by.
The early worm gets the bird, or something like that.
You hear from the room that the 11-year-old came out of. This voice sounds like it's recently gone through puberty, so it cracks a little bit.
Hi, guys!
He's like, actually, on occasion, they spell worm with a Y because it's like a dragon. And out comes another. It looks like the younger kid that came through. It looks like his older brother.
Who are
Probably-
you?
I work here.
Where'd
Can
the
I-
where'd the other boy go?
Oh, he's out running errands. He'll be back.
Are you two related?
Why does he wear stilts?
Why don't you have stilts? He had stilts. Oh, Kendrick's gone.
Kendrick is offended by the word stilts.
Yes. Can confirm.
He's like, oh no, he's my younger brother. He wears the stilts because we make fun of him because he without the stilts he can't see behind the bar. It's very hard to take him seriously when he serves you a beer and he has to reach up like this. It doesn't work.
Makes sense.
I think it's quite comical.
Yeah, we all have a good laugh at his expense. So anyway, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Adam. And his name is Henrik. Hello, welcome back.
You're a little low.
Adam and who's the barkeep?
The like 16-year-old in front of you, his name is Adam.
You have a sister named Eve by chance?
No sisters in my family, unfortunately. My parents were cursed with a whole string of boys.
And what's your tiny brother's name?
My tiny brother?
The stick boy.
So, I mean, he kind of holds it. So you'll have to forgive my parents because eventually they got tired of naming us all different things. He is also Adam.
So
does he
if at
have
any point
a fun, interesting spelling that'll make everyone mispronounce his name for the rest of his life?
Does he spell it with an I?
Does he spell it with a Y?
Is it Adam with an AI?
And Adam kind of holds up his hand and goes, mine is spelled with an O, actually.
Adam?
Adam.
Adam?
Adaom.
What? That's not how vowels work.
Dwam.
This is only the name. This is the name that I was stuck with. My youngest brother's Adam. His name is Adym.
A dime. Dime. Dim.
A doim.
A doim.
Well, that is interesting. Do you have any
My-
other brothers named Adam?
No, I have several other brothers, also all named Adam. You can kind of figure out the naming convention when you meet them. Anyway, what can I do? What can I get you anything, Master Gnome? Can I get you anything, Steel Sir? And he looks directly at your construct and is addressing
It's like meat,
the
morp,
construct.
zeep, boop.
I will take a water, and this chunk is plenty.
That's boring.
I'm a tiny guy. I don't need that much food.
You don't want any mead.
Nah, that's fine.
I'm only drinking one glass of meat. I don't need to be inebriated for the library.
Oh, you're going to the library?
Yes, do you know where it is?
Yes.
Is it near Horn Hall or Grape Mire?
It's actually so
We're going to the library? Hold on here.
if you're interested in going to the library or any other centers of learning, I'm actually a student there over at the School of Medicine myself. If you just head over to Scholars Walk, it's the big stone building. And it's got a big book on the front. You can't miss it.
Book. Like
Big
how
book.
how
That's
big of a book are we talking? It's big.
How tall are you? You're like 7'8".
7'3", I think.
Okay, so he's like a little bit bigger than your arms like this, and if you put both your arms up, it's about that tall.
Okay.
It's a huge book. You can't miss it.
Well, thank you,
But yeah,
Adam.
Stick with Adam. Don't worry about the vowels. Just stick with Adam. It's fine.
Very good.
So yeah, if you need to learn anything in the city, head to Scholars Walk. If you need to learn anything that might not be in the books, yeah, you wouldn't go to Scholars Walk for that. There's also all the best pubs are in Scholars Walk. All the best ones. Because that's where all the university students go to drink their sorrows away. Unfortunately,
yes, that makes sense.
Unfortunately, us here in Stone's Throw are a little far out for them, but we get to meet lovely traveling people like yourself.
Well, we are glad to be here. Before I venture to the library, do you happen to know anything about angry trees?
He's like, no, I don't. But my older brother might.
Is he around?
he's out, but he'll be back in a couple of hours. He had to run out, and he's currently in Sunnyside, but he'll be back. He'll be back soon.
Okay.
Hey,
Well,
I
thank
heard a
you.
noise.
Oh,
I
say again.
changed it to the stupid fucking voice mod thing, and now it's working, I guess.
There you go. Nope,
Alright,
don't
I'm
do,
not
don't
gonna
do
do
that.
Sorry, what the hell was that?
Yeah, he's
you
an
hear that
anime
noise?
girl.
You hear that noise coming from outside of the twist and shout, and Adam just turns and goes, "I'll be right back," and he moseys out the front door. But as he's getting to the edge of the door, he goes, "Right, 1 second," and he reaches down and he's like kind of feeling around without his eyes, and he pulls his hand and like pops his wrist, and a glass rolls up his arm, it pops up, and catches it in his other hand, sticks it on the counter, pulls out a ladle, pours water out of a barrel, and slides down, and it parks itself directly in front of Maury, like
How
right
old
in her
are
hand.
you?
I'm 13, sir.
That's impressive.
Feels like I've been 13 forever. Can't wait to be 14. Excuse me. Pops out.
You know, we should deal with our metallic dwarf friend at some point.
Oh, yes. Well, he said that he was a student of the School of Frivolous Things, healing. Should we take him to the School of Healing, or should we take him to see the mayor?
Well, in my experience, barkeeps don't make the best healers.
Hmm.
And we do have a letter to give to
Is it the king? The mayor?
the emperor, king,
Emperor?
mayor, big baddie.
Oh, wait. Lythar has our mail. We can't even go to the king. Friend,
He'll
guy.
be back eventually.
Well, I need to go to the library. Library, as some say. So
What is it you're looking to do at the library?
I want to find out about trees and if what happened when I tackled that tree, because as we know, I single-handedly took down a tree. It was very impressive, I'd say. And then the little spooky guys showed up, and now
You almost
now
killed
we're here.
us.
It wasn't my fault. It was the trees.
You're right. I suggested it.
The worst things have happened. Our elf friend is missing. Our dwarf friend is a rock. My accent's changing. I will go to the library, and I will find stuff about trees and about toaster dwarves, and you guys can take him to the places.
You hear a small quiet voice in the back go, I'm sorry, did you say trees?
Yes, trees, like big angry trees.
And from back in like the pantry and the kitchen area, out comes a younger girl. She's probably about 16. Looks like someone who she'd be one of the serving. She looks like she'd be a serving girl in a place like this. She goes, I'm terribly sorry for eavesdropping, but did you say something about trees?
Yes, but first, who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Alice.
In
And
Wonderland.
she pulls her skirts and like kind of curtsies a little bit.
I curtsy back.
She's a little. She doesn't quite know how to react to this 7 foot tall, kind of smelly dude like picking up his loincloth and like actually give me a performance check. Let's roll some dice today.
All right.
Performance check.
Let me
There's a
So, yeah.
nat 20. First
Show
roll of the
me.
night.
show me that 20, please.
Oh, God.
Actually, if it's super complicated, I'll believe
I
you.
don't think it's that complicated.
I don't know. You're struggling an awful lot for a net 20.
I just have to get it disconnected and hope that the cord
Emotionally
is
or
long
like-
enough.
Did you guys pick something for me to do, or am I just like?
you were offered breakfast, and then you were like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I gotta go do stuff," and then like popped your hood up and left.
So I'm
So
gonna
am I
pick it
getting
up
some
because
puss-puss, or-
the
No,
thing
it's like
can't,
9 o'clock on a Tuesday.
it can't go that
Hey
far.
man, puss
So you're
puss
gonna
never
have to-
waits.
No, the brothels are all closed at this point.
I don't see it.
Lythar don't need no
I don't believe
brothels.
Yeah, he does. All right, I'll believe you. That
I
looks
see
like
the
it.
20. I see it.
I see it.
Oh, I see.
Look at that first 20.
Look at that.
So Ronan, while seated, you're still taller than she is, but you just like you pick up the sides of your loincloth and do this perfect court curtsy. And she's just like she's a little in awe because she's still 16. She's still kind of clumsy and figuring out how her hands work.
I'm a teenager. How's my body work?
Yeah, kind of like that, but a little less Muppet. And
A little less.
just a bit less. But
Oh, now
she's
my
just like,
camera's all fucked up. Son of a
She's
bitch.
like- oh, and she's like, can you show me that? Is that how all Goliaths greet each other?
Only
was-
on weekends.
But it's Tuesday.
Oh, I'm not good at days.
She's like, that's fine. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. But did you come? How did you come into Khorom-Voor?
Through woods. We came through the Cinderwell wall.
You came through those woods outside of the Cinder Wall?
Sure.
Yes, the big ones.
Yes, there
Sure.
were woods and they were dark and scary. I tackled a tree and knocked it down first try. It was
fishing,
glorious.
Very good fishing.
It's mostly just one big tree. All the other ones were average trees, but one big tree.
And we
Because-
almost died.
And
Do you know anything about the trees? You are very
I know-
grumpy.
I know that nobody goes that way. Nobody comes that straight shot through the Cinder Wall.
We didn't
That's-
have much of a choice.
No one told us otherwise. We just followed the road.
All right, I feel attacked. Thanks, guys. She's kind of like, and you survived. You'll have to tell my brother when he gets back. He'll
Who's your
never
brother?
believe me. My brother Adam.
Wait. We were told by Adam that his brothers had no sisters. So which Adam is your brother? Is it Adam with an AO or Adam with a Y?
Actually, Adam with an I.
Is it ADAIM?
Yes, he's my adopted brother. I'm sorry, that just made this whole thing much more. let me try that again. And she goes back into the kitchen and she goes, "Hi, I'm Alice, and I work here." And curtsies again.
I
like-
curtsy back again.
Give me another performance check, but this time with advantage because you really like the feel of it.
A 14,
Ooh.
and that's a 16.
Okay, so this one's a little
I'm
less
keeping
crisp.
this one over here because I like this dice.
It's a little less crisp, but still just like a phenomenal curtsy. And she's just like, gets me every time. I don't know how he does it. If you came through the forest, the old woods outside the Cinder Wall, you are very lucky or very, very good.
I
Or
would like to
very
think
stupid.
good.
Deeps, you have one lung. Why are you smoking?
Shh. It's fine.
She's like, I don't.
Wait, Deeps, you have one lung?
Oh no.
Where'd the other one
Listen,
go?
That's
His, one of his
story
lungs
for another
collapsed.
day.
All right.
Weird. And she's like, you have to stay and tell Adam when he gets back. He will never believe me if I tell him. He'll think it's another story that I've made up. I need you guys to tell him. He'll be back he'll be back in a couple of hours. So if you need to go into the city, feel free. But he'll be back around lunchtime if you wanna sit and chat with him.
That would be-
And sir, I heard you say you wanted to go to the library to learn about these trees.
Yes.
If you go there, if you find the elf librarian, he's the only elf. He's the only elf that works in the library.
We have an elf too, you know.
Oh, you might want to bring him along.
I don't know where he went. He left.
Well, that might be difficult.
What is he mean?
No,
What's not to like about me?
He's particular. He's a little old fashioned, unfortunately.
Oh, he's a boomer.
Okay, boomer.
I'm sorry.
No, if you find Aego at the library,
Go.
Aego, Aego. Just look.
Lego my ego.
Ask for Master Aego, and tell him you came through the forest outside Cinderwall, and he can give you the information you need. So now that I've
thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with? Anywhere I can point you? Anyone who's made it through through that particular stretch of woods, I'd be more than happy to help.
I'm looking
We
for
must
something.
have the biggest of balls.
Something rather peculiar.
What can I help you with, sir?
I'm not quite sure what to call it, but maybe a briefcase or a suitcase where I could store many possessions. A briefcase of possessions or a suitcase of items, if you will.
Oh,
Like a back.
like you're looking
Yeah, a backpack of many belongings.
a bag of holding, I believe.
That's the term.
Is that because you hold the bag? And I look at Lami puzzlingly. Just holding my fist up like I'm holding something.
That's exactly it. You hold the bag and then you put your things in it.
What kind of things?
It's revolutionary.
How many things?
Plumbing.
As many as you want.
As many as I want.
Yep.
Well, that's convenient.
You can put all your javelins in there.
That is a great idea.
You could
Thor.
have
I could have
thousands of
so many
javelins
javelins.
in this bag.
Does it get? But javelins are long. Can it stretch?
You should go to, if you're looking for anything expensive or anything magical like that, you'd probably want to check out. You'll want to go to the crust.
The crust.
The crust. It's
Sounds
the
delicious.
rich people. It's the rich people part of town.
Ah.
We call it the upper crust. It's an old. It didn't translate well when the dwarves left the city and we took it over. We call it the crust.
The crust.
And she kind of leans in. She goes, if you're looking for it a little cheaper and a little slightly used,
I like used.
you might want to look towards Greymire. The temple is there, but also it's a little seedier. If you catch my meaning.
So there's quite a few seeds there.
Wink,
A
wink.
great many, not as many as in Cat's Cradle, mind you, but it's a great many seedy opportunities for growth. And she kind of turns and she winks at you.
Tiny, I'm quite sure this seedy area is full of trees.
I don't like trees. They are mean, and I don't like them.
So I'm just gonna kind of like have my hand like in my head. This conversation's been going on for like too long. I'm gonna be like, all right. So let me get this straight. We're gonna go find the elf, and then we're gonna go
Our
to the
elf
library.
or the elf at the library?
We need to
No,
find
our
Lythar
elf. We need to find
first.
our elf. Our elf
Well, I
first.
wrote down my list in the wrong order. Excuse me. Our elf.
So we need to go find our elf,
Then the other elf.
and then we need to go. Do we want to go shopping or do we want to go to the library?
We should take Krusty to
I think
a
we
place.
should go to the
Krusty. Who's
library.
Krusty?
I think we
Good
should go to the library first.
call.
We need some more funds before we can truly go on a proper shopping spree.
But we have to we can drop off Core. We don't have to stand there and hold his hand. We don't even
Do you
know if
think
he
we can
has
sell him?
hands.
Do you think we can sell him?
Okay.
I don't think that would be rude.
What do you think a half metal dwarf is worth?
He is taking up a lot of space in the wagon.
He is, but if we get the bag of holding, then we can put him in the bag.
I'm selling the
She
dwarf's
does-
handle. I'm taking the dwarf store handle and I'm selling it.
She goes, I'm so sorry. Who are you talking about?
We have
Oh, we
this.
have a dwarf.
Yes, and
He's dead.
He's not
he's
dead.
he's outside.
Lummy. He's in the wagon.
He's very near dead.
He electrocuted
thing.
himself,
Kendrick, if
and
you
now
want to
he's
circle
a
your way back
statue.
into the inn at any point, or if you want them to go find you in the
They're in
the
an inn
Orville.
right now.
They're currently at the Twisted Scout where you guys like parked the wagon and went to sleep.
I am enjoying just listening to these two giant idiots banter over whatever's going on. I
So,
want them to find me
Okay.
because it's
Alright.
probably going to take them like a week to find me. You're going to be like, "Oh, we found your other elf, but where's our elf?"
The whole episode is just
Tune in
us
next
looking
week
for
for
Kendrick.
tune in next week for episode 5, The Search for Lythar continues.
Yeah, the search for Lythar again. The search
Wait,
for more Lythar.
The Search for Lythar. Wait, which elf is it?
Okay, so
So
we're gonna find our elf.
alright.
We should
then
deal
we're
with the
gonna go-
dwarf before the library.
Should deal with the dwarf. Do we want to
But
go
we
shopping?
need we need the
Well,
dwarf
shopping
before.
can wait. We need to deal with the dwarf, or at least figure out what to do with him.
We have to find the elf who has the letters to get the dwarf to the guy.
Well, that's step
Who's
one.
the
Yes.
guy? You guys
Yes.
never explained this, Remo. Who's the guy?
The guy is the mayor or the king or the emperor. I don't know.
He's an emperor. What is he, barkeep? Is he an emperor? Is he a king?
Who? Who are we talking
the
about?
person in charge of this
Whoever's
vicinity.
in charge.
Oh, he's no, he's the mayor. He's
mayor.
He's the mayor.
mayor. Yeah, Mayor Alvaron.
Mayor.
I was
Alvaron.
going to say if you said Adam, I would. Be very confused.
No one in my family's the mayor yet. We'll see how it goes. My great uncle ran for mayor many years ago, but didn't succeed.
All right,
Mm.
so I say we take a trip outside and find the elf,
Find the elf.
and then we take care of Core, and then we'll go from there. Figure out
Okay.
the rest afterwards. Does that
Deal.
sound like a
I
plan?
slam my glass
Ugh.
down on the table.
And I'm gonna chug the rest of my water, and I'm gonna stand up, turn to my little mechanical friend on
You're
my
such a
head,
hard
and he's
dude,
gonna
DP.
follow me out the door.
Do we pay you now or after the library?
We pay him later.
But it's a her.
We pay all of them later.
Okay. Is that okay with you?
I'll take
Alice?
I'll just take a gold for the hams and the mead. Just like actually two golds among all of you should cover it, and also your rooms for last night. That'll be a
two
great plan.
gold each or 2 gold for all
2
of
gold
us?
total.
I'm going to pull out 2 gold and flick them one at a time in her direction.
I'm gonna give her a gold too.
That's 3
Okay.
gold.
Are you like skipping it off the bar, or are you just kind of flinging it?
I'll
at
skip
her?
it off the bar.
Okay, so
I'm gonna like flick mine.
So, as you just kind of like ping them at the bar, they hit and they skip like a stone. And she's on the other, like kind of on the other side of the bar, so it pings up, and she's kind of turned and she's picked up the same cloth that Adam with a Y left behind this morning, and she just reaches up and catch, and then the flick, she just turns and opens her coin purse that's on her hip and just bink.
You all are very coordinated.
You work here long enough, you learn a few things. You understand the way things flow in a place like
And you
this.
wear stilts.
And stilts.
Oh, I don't. No stilts. And she like pulls up her foot, or like she pulls up her leg and pulls her skirts up, so you see that she's just in like plain work boots. Nothing inappropriate, Kendrick. I saw that face.
She's
I'm not
16,
even there.
Kendrick.
Oh, I forgot about that.
She's human in 16, which is like 4 in elf.
Yeah.
Sick fuck.
Not even, man. It's like
I'm gonna
6 months.
You're like talking to Baby Yoda over here.
I'm gonna
I am
flick
demonetized.
I'm gonna
50
flick
years
my
old
gold
and
piece
can't
out,
even talk yet.
and I'm gonna ask, or rather say, at some point, I'd very much like to see the lot of you all in the same room at the same time.
And she kind of looks at you and gives you a knowing smile and is like, I'd like that too. Unfortunately, the family's very busy and it's awfully hard to pin us all down in the same place. You know how families get.
Oh, yes.
Anything else
Very,
I can
very
help
busy.
you with?
Nope. I think I am good.
Nope.
Oh, wait. Do you know where to? And I grab the arm of the creature
forgot
off
about
of
this part.
my back, and I slam it down on the table, and I'm like, do you know where I can turn this into, like, a weapon?
Greymire.
Greymire. Okay.
Or then she holds up her finger and she points to Mari, and she goes, or in the south. No, you might. Yeah, that might work. And she's kind of thinking to herself. She goes, in the southwest corner of the city, outside the city limits. You can go to the range, and they might have something of interest for both of you. That's where most of our metal workers and our more dangerous not hobbies, more dangerous professions work out there.
The legal ones.
You said metal workers. Are they like machinists? Do they make things like
a little bit of machinery? That's also a large portion. Most of the military force that's here lives in Sunnyside, and they'll go to the range for combat drills and everything. It's honestly quite exciting. There's just an awful lot happening over there, so it might be worth adventurers like yourselves might be worth checking out.
It's added to the list.
Yes.
It's added to the list.
Wait, we have a list?
I have a list.
Let's proceed with our list.
All right.
After we
Find
find
the
our
elf. And with that,
Our
I walk
elf.
towards
Can
the
I-
door.
We must find my elf. Got it.
What's
My-
DP?
Can I
What's your
see
question?
your list? Can I see your list?
Me?
Is it? Can I see your list?
I mean,
I think
yeah.
he's asking in
Spell it
character.
correctly.
No.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Oh, that's a pretty good list. All right, I'll take it.
Actually, I was gonna ask if Ronan was writing it in common or giant.
The letters are just bigger.
That's how giant works. Completely indecipherable to anyone who doesn't speak giant.
The letters are bigger.
All right, let's go find our elf friend.
All right, so y'all kind of pick up and mosey your way out the bar. And let's cut over to Lythar, who's been patiently doing whatever he feels like in the city. At like 9:30 on a Tuesday. So Lythar, do you have the map open that I put in the Discord?
Yeah.
What district are you hanging out in?
Well, I don't know what any of these things mean. What
Okay.
are there?
So Scholars Walk. Well, actually, so the Crust is like the ritzy part of town. You guys came through Cinderwall and ended up in Stone's Throw, which is sort of like the common living place. Smaller shops are there, but it's mostly families and some smaller, like very small business opportunities and a bunch of inns because it follows most of the main roads go through Stone's Throw at some point.
Right.
There's a big fucking park that should have a label called the Sea of Stones, just south of in that southern portion of Stone's Throw. Greymire is near right under the RE. There's a big ass temple up in there, but it's also it's a very devout and religious place, but it's also kind of the seedier part of town. The Crust is like the ritzy part of town because it's also right next to the castle, which is up in that upper corner. Cat's Cradle is basically the farming district.
Get silver spoons there too.
No silver spoons. They eat off pewter up there. It's so fun fact. Cat's Cradle. Actually, I can tell you why it's called Cat's Cradle when you get to the library and somebody asks that question.
To the library we go.
So
now we have to find the elf.
Right, the elf.
You have to find
Sunnyside
our
is
elf.
like the mid level. It's like the suburbia. Like it's not quite as packed in as it is in Stone's Throw. But it's also like it gets at night. It's called Sunnyside because in the evening when the sun is setting, it just absolutely clobbers that side of the city, and it looks gorgeous because of all the stonework from this city. It's also a dwarven mistranslation through several hundred years. I can give you the history of the city if somebody wants the history check, but we'll get to that later.
Where would be like the most isolated place in this city?
Probably the isolated
Like most
and
private.
safe.
Like
Probably,
for me to just like be by myself.
probably, and also as an elf, I feel like you'd go to the Sea of Stones, because it's a pretty nice park.
That's
but
what I was thinking.
So if you want to be trekking around the Sea of Stones, you are more than welcome to if you just want to kind of hang out there, or if you want to go to, if there's anything you wanted to do before you headed over there.
Well, am I going to them or are they finding me?
They're finding you. You left because you were just like a little nervous about being in a city like this surrounded by humans, and humans, dwarves, like as you're walking through the streets, this is a cosmopolitan metropolis. This is, if it was bigger, it would be like a capital city, but it's you see half orcs, you see gnomes, you see halflings, you see elves, you see one or two tieflings, which is very unusual for any of these cities. Tieflings basically look like your stereotypical like demon. They have horns, their skin is bright red, they have tails, and they're just kind of walking around just like any other human being, and no one's really concerned about it.
Yeah, I'm in the park with my hood up.
Yeah.
Definitely just kind of like trying to stick to myself
Mhm.
and, not like meditate, but just kind of like,
Okay. There's a couple of isolated groves that look like they've been placed intentionally for exactly this purpose. Give me a nature check.
also I got to remember that Deeps gave me a bonus on my weapon, so I haven't.
Mhm.
I did.
Also, don't forget, some of you still have inspiration
Yes, I.
if you want to use that.
Is that a D10?
It's, that's the roll 2 d20s and take the higher result
Oh, okay.
on any roll you want. It can also remove disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
I rolled a 2 plus 3 is 5. Is this important?
No, this is just like,
Okay. I got a 5.
actually, yeah. So it. No. Give me 1 second. I want to see your.
Well, the park doesn't count as forest, right?
I'll double. I'll count that as, because it is artificially created forest, and like after looking at it and kind of taking a minute, as you're walking through, things start to feel more comfortable, and it looks like, after kind of doing a little closer inspection, you see that these are native. Some of these trees are not native to here. They are more They are more traditionally found in elven areas, and then it looks like they've been transplanted into this city to build groves for wood elves, for elves to sit in and reconnect with nature when the city's too stressful.
Right.
It's basically like, to put it in contemporary terms, it's a safe room.
Yeah.
For elves. So it's not an escape room, but it's a pressure release valve for
Yeah.
elves that get stressed out from the city. They can go and they can sit and they can reconnect with nature without leaving the city limits. Also, from your nature check, you do notice that the trees are leaning. The trees are thicker on the eastern side towards Cinderwall, towards the forest that you came through. The trees are growing a little thicker, and they're a little less well kept on that side of things. But everything is still like very well maintained. It looks like whoever they've got doing their horticulture here is probably an elven master gardener. or something similar. Damn it, Chris, stop having better ideas than me. I was like, who's gonna be the gardener?
A
Should
tree.
have said a tree. Who
It's just like,
who better?
oh, over there.
Bottle. All right,
That's-
so yeah,
that's the next city.
I guess like I kind of want to focus on the trees that are a little bit bigger and closer to Cinderwall.
Mhm.
Like I don't necessarily like. I think I feel like I'd be like studying the comparison of both trees,
Mhm.
and maybe like literally even like kind of like feeling them and
Mhm.
sensing what's going on.
Feeling up the
Okay.
wood.
Yeah, you know, feeling the girth of the wood.
There you
doing that
go.
carpentry thing. So yeah, as you walk towards a pretty thick copse of trees, and these are they don't just look bigger, they feel older than all the other trees.
Some people
They
are into
look-
that.
They're still clearly transplanted from elven cities, but they have a weight to them. You know, when if you've ever looked at an ancient structure or an ancient piece of art, and you look at it and you feel like there's a weight that this thing has existed for longer than your entire family lineage.
It's an old ass tree.
It's like this whole copse of trees just feels like the world was created for these trees to have a place to live.
Got a lot of girth.
Like, but they don't look old. They just
have like a sense to
they feel ancient,
right.
but they don't look like they're gonna teeter over and die at any time. These are healthy trees that just have heft.
So to like anyone that wasn't an elf or I guess a master gardener wouldn't really sense that. To them, it's just kind of like those are some big trees.
You get some if a human or a dwarf were to walk by, they would appreciate the age and the majesty of the trees. They wouldn't get most of them, especially those with a shorter lifespan, would not fully grasp how ancient these things are.
Okay.
Look at that booty.
I thought he was gonna go pee with us on again.
Pete in the corner.
Oh shit, that was quick.
I don't shake it. I just go.
Oh,
I let it drip down.
it's dangerous.
It's
It's
Quitter talk.
uncomfortable.
I like to live dangerously.
Good for you. So yeah,
Also,
Up and
Delicious.
away. Bow, 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 bow. Sorry. Demonetized.
Is that an actual song?
It is.
up
I'll
and
find
away
it
is
and
a
send
song
it to you. It's
What?
fucking groovy as shit.
By
Kid
who?
Cudi song.
Okay, that's why I don't.
That's a good
I
song.
don't listen to Kid Cudi much.
We're getting derailed. But it's
I'm
very-
sorry.
so are you just gonna hang out and kind of study the trees
Yeah, and I still got my hood up. Ouch.
like a fucking
Ouch.
angsty teen? Is there give me another nature check. Unless you so are you just hanging out outside this copse of trees, or what would you like to do?
No, I'm like feeling them.
You're like in the center.
I'm like literally investigating.
You're just checking. Okay. Give me another nature check. Because I think you have inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just use,
I was just curious if you had one or not. But yeah, give me another
Is it-
nature check.
you said this is doubled. I guess
Yeah, we'll double your bonus.
16.
You said 16?
16 total.
These you feel not that something is physically reaching out to you, but you feel like as you're walking around the center of this copse, you feel a connection with the nature. That it's a very familiar and very comfortable feeling, but it's like reaching out and shaking hands with a Kodiak bear, where you're connected with it and you know that it's a living, breathing creature, but this is much bigger and scarier than most of the things you connect in your nature.
So it's an angry tree.
Not necessarily. It is just big and has the potential to
As he
beat your ass to
rolls,
death.
not necessarily.
I didn't roll.
Yes, it is. Oh, I
I
thought
did
you.
not
I thought you
roll.
rolled.
No, because I have
I
a
was-
nice metal dice tray, so you can hear when I roll now. You can
Oh.
hear when you
Nice.
guys get fucked.
Where did you get that dice tray, by the
Oh,
way?
hey, this episode is sponsored by Sheckler's Woodworks.
Close
This is,
enough.
Josh, do you have one laying around? Everyone, y'all hold up your dice trays. Look at that.
Look at this lovely cherry and leather. Cherry with a leather interior. A plate.
Handmade.
Handcrafted in the best garage possible.
Yes. It's
Um,
gonna be yours for 5 payments of $9.95.
Yeah, that's about right. But you pay shipping and handling. So, Kendrick, give me
That. Give me that.
Well, you gave it to me.
I'm a monkey.
I don't think that's how monkeys work.
You.
Give me another nature check. This one at advantage.
What am I, the nature boy, Ric Flair? Woo! Demon.
Anyway,
Olivia.
cut back to the rest of the party. No. What's your roll, Kendrick? The
Hi,
advantage?
Olivia.
Olivia, holy shit! I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. I didn't know you lived with Olivia.
Yeah.
Holy
How
shit!
do you know
Anyway,
Olivia?
marching band.
Ah, yeah, that would do it because she did the.
Holy shit. She was a symbol.
God.
She was symbols.
I got a 13.
Okay.
You were in the band with the
I'm
home
dropping
team.
the ball.
I was the one of the only managers to come back for 2 seasons.
He volunteered to be band manager. That is unheard of.
Twice.
Yep.
I'm so
Twice.
sorry.
He was the
I'm sorry.
the 9-volt battery target for 2
Yeah,
years.
Marty hucked a 9-volt at me from the top of his tower and pinged me real good.
Doesn't surprise me. To be honest.
We'll swap stories later because we've got about an hour left. And
I need to fight something.
So
All I just woke up and walked out the door.
Pretty much.
so Lythar, you hear what sounds like a voice in your head in Elvish,
Help me.
and it's super super faint, but it's you hear like it sounds like someone said it, whispered it directly into your ear, but you know nobody's next to you.
Know what it said or no?
It's super faint.
So
It
I
is.
literally just hear a whisper.
You
no
hear it's like when you hear someone say your name in another room, but you can't be sure.
It's real estate.
Get out of here with your vines. No, this. So you hear the super faint whisper, and then it's gone. But the trees are now moving. The trees are now swaying in a circle around you. In this little copse of trees, you can't really tell which way the wind is blowing, but all of these trees are kind of swaying rhythmically in a circle.
Can't tell if I'm fucking up.
Kind of like that. We'll reuse this gif.
I'm gonna put my hood down. Just cause I'm assuming the trees already know I'm an elf, but I'm gonna put down, put my hood down, so my big pointy ears can stick out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't draw any weapons. Forest. These trees,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna say I stand my ground, and I try to project as much calmness, confidence as possible.
Okay.
Like I'm not being aggressive, but I'm also not like showing fear.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Or if I need to roll for that, I'm trying to. I don't know.
are you like how nervous is Lythar right now? Like super duper nervous? Like regular nervous?
Lythar
Or
is a
just,
little bitch. He's nervous
would
about
say-
everything.
I would say regular nervous.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm
no.
definitely having flashbacks to Journey to the city.
Dark times.
And so the trees start to sway a little more, and you hear the synchronous groaning of these branches. It almost sounds like if you spoke tree, it sounds like there would be a conversation. Like it's like listening to a language you don't understand and you know there's a conversation happening. You just have no idea what it is.
Are trees
All right,
Good,
animals?
bad,
so
otherwise.
since
There's no tonal changes. There's really just like
yeah,
all of these trees are rocking.
well, since I heard something whispered to me in Elvish, I'm just gonna like, is there anybody around me in this park, or am I pretty much like by myself?
You are in this copse of trees. You're basically you are completely isolated.
Okay, so I'm gonna say out loud in the direction. Actually, no, I'm in between the trees. They're circling me. I'm
You're
gonna
like at the center.
dramatically turn as I talk. But I'm actually gonna say real words.
Beep, boop,
I
bop,
Okay,
boop,
love-
Mr.
boop, bop.
Scatman.
I
We're gonna scat and spin in a circle.
roll performance for me if you're gonna do a scat check.
And
What
I
would you like to
like
say?
as I talk to them, I'm gonna speak in Elvish, and just gonna say. I don't want to
Nope.
say anything stupid. I feel like I'm.
They're
sitting in a
trees.
position. Trees almost killed us like a couple days ago. A day ago. So I'm just gonna say
Just
like.
say hello.
Just say
dude.
hi.
Hello.
Ask
So
them
I'm gonna
about
say,
their day. I
Can
hear trees
can
like
I,
that.
Can I? Can I speak? So I'm gonna say in Elvish like. Hello, I don't mean you any harm. Just seeking isolation. Appreciating.
What was the end of that? You cut out towards the end.
Appreciating their roots. Because they have a weight of oldness. That
Yeah,
sounds
bro,
way
that's-
worse than I meant
That's
it.
some sexy roots.
That's some damn old.
Hey yo, hey yo, baby, let me see them roots.
Show me what them roots do.
I meant like
Are you caressing the
their
tree while you're doing
age
this?
and
Okay.
the feeling of, like you said, the sense of age and
The sense. Okay.
historic.
So the
I'll start talking better soon.
Alden
still
starts
have a
talking the
project.
bitters.
give me persuasion check for
Oh,
that. You're gonna need to
shit.
roll persuasion with advantage.
My charisma sucks.
That's why you're getting an advantage because you're speaking Elvish.
So
Ah,
my bonus for charisma
-1.
minus. That's why I like being isolated. Making more room. Every time I roll on this desk, I have bad rolls. At home, I was doing. So I'm doing.
You know what would really help with that?
A Sheckler woodworking.
dice tray.
from Sheckler
From
Woodworking.
Sheckler's Woodworking.
I'm
Word
buying.
Yours
working.
for 5 payments of $9.99.
Word working.
I thought it was
All right.
$9.95.
So-
Just went up.
expensive as
hmm
I got
You know,
an
supply
11
and
minus-
demand.
Right. So,
So
get
I
one
got an
now.
11 minus 1, which is 10, but I have advantage,
So you roll again.
and that was worse. So we're gonna go with the 10.
Yay.
So they slow down. They slow their swaying.
Bad.
They continue to sway. And what's your passive perception? 14. Jesus. You see movement in the branches that doesn't fit. That it is directly counter to the direction the trees are swaying.
So like 8th note.
It's syncopated, but it's moving from tree to tree
Ah,
against
shit.
the wind.
It's-
It's in that offbeat.
So it's like
Y'all
a 3
are
over 4.
musical people. This is gonna be
3
way
over
easier for me.
Pass the goddamn
Um,
butter.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I
more
can visualize that.
yeah. Sure.
3 over.
What? Don't worry. We'll do a boss fight in 9-8, and y'all will be sad.
9/8's
Beat
not that
up,
bad.
beat up, beat up.
Um, Uh,
Now you gotta give me
And
something
so-
hard,
so
like
as they're-
17-6.
as they're swaying, you see not only just the movement, but you see a single glowing mote basically drift its way. It doesn't come from any particular tree, it just kind of drifts down and is spiraling around the outside ring
Eat it.
of these trees.
Thank God none of you are in this situation.
Or I run over and I eat the
And
globe.
it drifts down and comes to a stop directly in front of you at eye level. And all of the trees settle and still. You are now in a silent, all the noises of this city have been cut off. There is nothing moving. The grass isn't moving. The wisp in front of you isn't moving. Trees aren't moving. It is a perfect island of silence and stillness.
I look at the moat and Elvish I say, hello there.
From behind you, you hear, "Why, hello." It's an old, not quite leathery, but it sounds like somebody's grandfather is
Like
behind you.
the super old people of my city speaking.
Yeah, just like a very old, you just hear this very old voice and you feel something grasp your shoulder. Very, not like grabbing you forcibly, just
Yeah.
like someone put their hands on your shoulder.
So then I calmly say in Elvish, I am not disturbing.
Say again. You got drowned out.
I am not. God damn it, Josh. I say, I am not disturbing you.
Oh no, we haven't had anyone calm these woods in a very long time. There's a little bit of pressure to sort of spin you around, and you see
Oh,
a very old elf, long white hair. It would be like it's well cared for, but it's all very carefully piled on his head. It's not
got a
just
man
like, oh
bun.
look, it's not just like, oh look, here's a man bun, but it's very like
pins and needles, like
contained very
Yeah.
tightly to his head. And there's a like a floppy hat kind of cattywampus on it, and he's in just like a dark green set of clothes with a couple of gardening tools on his hips. And he turns and he goes, I can't remember the last time the Elder Wood went perfectly still for someone. It must have been 300 years or so. It's awfully hard to remember anymore. But you being here must mean something is different. Who are you?
Make sure I say my last name. It's hard. Okay. So I kind of like look at this old elf in like a very not like admiring, but like a very respectful manner. Just like, my name is Lyther Galando,
Hello.
Wood Elf
Eli.
Ranger. No idea what I'm.
And I'm still losing I'm losing every last word.
Why? Can you hear me fine?
Yeah,
I can hear you
I
fine.
think
It's just
you're.
it's
Do I get quiet? It's
Yeah,
I'm
you're
trying to do
you're
a voice.
diminuendoing past your mic's
Ah.
threshold.
your gate is like,
Oh, here, let me.
and then your gate picks it off. And so the older elf kind of bows and he goes, and he puts his hand over his heart and gives a little bow. Goes, welcome, Lythar, to the Elderwood. I am Ergen. I am the gardener here. I hope you found it quite to your liking.
And I put my hand over my heart and I bow back to him a little bit deeper to show more respect, because we're in China.
Should have curtsied.
Just kidding. Hold on 1 second. This is
Curtsy,
actually.
that's what I was gonna say.
Where is our messages, Curtis?
They're in the top left bubble, and then you
I
scroll
got it.
down until you find Hibberdy Gibbet.
Oh, right. Okay. I got it. So I bow back and I say, "Thank you for welcoming." Have you ever met another elf named Farquhar?
Farquad.
Farquhar.
Farquhar.
It's from a book I read as a kid.
No, I can't say I have, but very few elves visit with me. They tend to be. My only friends are the trees here, but they're good company. They don't leave like everyone else does, so
Oh.
they're the best friends anyone could ask for.
No.
And he kind of goes, "Come, I think there are. I think there are others that are looking for you." And he turns and he goes to kind of wrap his arm around you. He goes, "Oh," and he like stoops down.
Very good.
Bumps his head on
Wow.
something. Oh, my head. Oh.
Well, you actually, as he bends down, he like his head would go through where a branch was, but the branch like bows out of the way like a wind had just blown through. But there's still no sound except you and Ergen's voices. And so this branch kind of bends its way out. And he picks up and he goes, "I haven't seen these. Well, last time I found one was 60 years. Since the humans came and made their own calendars, it's all very confusing to me. I judge things by the cycle of the sun. I guess they do too. I wouldn't know. But here, this is a gift from the Elderwood." And he hands you a golden acorn.
Oh, I hear that's good for
Nuts.
digestion.
I got a nut.
How the hell did you have that gift that quickly?
Wait.
I have questions.
I was waiting for it.
So, Chris, when this is posted on YouTube, I need the squirrel gift to be added in as an overlay because holy shit, the timing was incredible. And so Ergen hands you the acorn and goes, This is no small token from the forest. This is ancient. This is an ancient piece of tribute. You've done something to serve the Elderwood, and they've given you this in exchange.
Yeah, I saved them from a fucking idiot Goliath. Just kidding.
It's not my place to know what you did, Goliath or idiot or otherwise. But hold on to that. It may prove useful for your good deeds. Now come, I believe someone is looking for you.
So before, I'll just keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, and he goes to like help guide you through these trees. If you want to do anything else.
I was just gonna say, like, as he puts his arm around me, like I lightly like grab it and take it off for a second, turn around back to the trees, and I put my arm like across my chest, and I like kneel down before them and like bow my head to them to like show the utmost respect, like as appreciation of this giant golden nut. Not giant, golden nut.
You
golden nut.
Close your eyes and bow your head, and you hear it almost sounds like applause. You hear like the leaves moving, like kind of jazz handsy, like, but the leaves are moving and things are hitting against other things, and it sounds like distant applause from a stadium that you're just downwind and you hear it carried on the breeze. You hear.
Man, I
this
should
faint
leave you guys
distant
more
hush.
often. I do good shit when I'm by myself.
And as when you stand up, the applause kind of peters out. And as you stand up and turn to follow Ergen, he's standing there, and it's the first time since meeting him like 30 seconds ago, but he's got just a little smirk, and just like his older, like kind of sunburned. He almost looks Native American. Just his face has that ruddy complexion, but he's got just enough of a smirk in the corner of his mouth, and he doesn't say a word as he kind of gestures you out, and the branches part to let you out of this collection of trees, and he leads you out of this little copse of trees. So, and now we flash back to the rest of the idiots.
What are you guys doing?
I'm just
I got a nut.
running
I got a
around
nut.
yelling,
I'm gonna go
"Elvish
ahead.
friend!"
I'm gonna walk out of the inn and say, if I was an elf, where would I go?
You probably wouldn't know.
So who's been to the city before? I'm pretty sure it's just Mark.
I have not.
Right. DP, we talked about that. You have been to. Have you been to Khorom-Vores? Has anybody been to Khorom-Vores?
I
That was
have.
a great time to make up that somebody's been to Khorom-Vores.
Was Brandon in Khorom-Vores? I've been around.
Sure, I've been to
for
Khorom-Vores before.
things. Okay.
Hey, DP's been there.
DP's been there.
I know
yeah.
exactly where I'm going.
Where would an elf be, little Maury?
You don't have to know exactly where you're going. You can have a general idea of the layout of the city, and be able to navigate it without a map.
Well,
Where would an elf go?
if I was an elf, there are some trees over there. He's a wood elf, right? He likes those things, trees.
He likes wood.
We should check out the trees.
You think elves like mead?
No, I do not
You
believe
gave
they
me
do.
mead.
Anyway, if he doesn't, that's more mead for us. And I start walking away, and then I'm like, wait, where are we going?
That's a super ominous noise, and I'm sorry.
We're going this way to the trees. I
So
don't
this way we
remember.
go.
Kendrick went. Where are the trees? Where are
The
south.
trees are south of Stone's Throw.
Look,
Actually,
out of
Maury,
Stone's Throw.
because you guys are hanging out in Stone's Throw.
Okay.
So Maury, you actually have you have a local map. You look less like a tourist than everybody else.
Is it this little green spot?
Yeah, the little green spot is all
Alright.
the woody.
I am
woodiness.
the green spot.
Ew, no.
We'll start traveling our way down that way.
It's called gonorrhea.
Oof.
Just kidding.
Took a weird turn.
As you guys are moseying your way down,
Making our way
some of
downtown.
the bigger streets, you're seeing families kind of going about their day. Mother, you smell a lot of cooking. You smell a lot of baking.
Ooh. What kind of baking do I smell?
Mostly breads. Like nothing super fancy, because a lot of the pies in the fancier shops would be closer to the crust, or sort of on the narrower, the
Closer to the
closer to
crust.
the crust. That was not my plan when this all started.
All right, continue.
But a lot of simple stews, or wheat breads, and just good hearty common food. But as you guys are going, you see you start to hear a commotion from the street up in front of you.
I run to the commotion.
Okay. Anyone else want to run to the commotion with
He's
the
so
7
ready. I
I'm
run to the
just-
sound.
I love
just
I love
gonna-
it.
I'm just gonna
I'm gonna-
watch.
I'm gonna go with him, but I'm gonna send my little metal friend, Frank, further ahead. He's gonna
Okay.
be kind of traveling with him. I'm gonna
So-
be back behind him.
So Frank and Ronan run just fucking pell-mell, and the sight alone of a Goliath, 7+ feet of angry Goliath sprinting down the street, probably yelling something. And I don't think Ronan is a quiet runner. So I'm just like, "Whoa!" And people are like, the fuck, and just get out of the way.
Yeah.
And right behind him is like 5 feet of slightly beaten up steel, just keeping pace.
I picture his legs just moving like from the knee as wheels, just like ding 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 ding.
You'll have to talk to Mario about making that improvement. Right now, he just looks like a normal dude. Also, as a sidebar, was doing artificer reading today at work because I was bored.
As
technically,
work do.
Technically, as a gnome, you can count as a small creature.
I'm a small creature.
I believe so.
Like
Or you are
Maury
like,
is.
you're very, Maury is a small creature, or like right on the edge. And your construct is a medium creature. So in theory, you could Iron Man and have this thing be around you. You could crawl inside your own automaton, but that's a whole other thing. Because someone's like, you could turn that into a suit of armor. You could be inside this thing.
Can literally be Iron Man.
Which played into like, here's the artillerist, and like you could have eldritch cannons on the end of your arms and literally just be Iron Man and fly. But we don't talk about that because that's not in this game yet.
The Iron Man class.
So Ronan and Frank run up. Both of you give me perception checks when you break through there's a circle of the crowd. Both of you give me perception checks to see what
16 plus whatever that number would be.
I got a 5.
Perception.
Is that
plus
with your
0,
plus 4?
So it's 16.
Does Frank get a +4?
Frank gets a +4 to perception.
Oh, so he's got a 9.
Okay.
Not much better.
You guys see a younger kid, probably about 7 or 8. And there's 4 well-armored men standing around him, and there's an older gentleman in what looks like an apron. It looks like he's like a local shop guy standing there, and he's waggling his fingers at the kid, and he's talking to one of the guards, and another guard has this kid by both wrists and is kind of holding him, not quite off the ground, but if the kid tried to run, all the guard would have to do is like lift his hand, and the kid's feet are kicking, and the other 2 guards are patting down the kid.
I yell, Adam.
Everyone just kind of stops because it's a Goliath yelling. So instead of just being Adam, he's like, Adam! And it echoes down a couple of alleys. And everyone just kind of stops and turns. And the kid who's got his hands up just goes, who's Adam?
Okay, well that answers my question. What's going on here?
Well, you see, shut up, you. And the guard who's got him up by the arms kind of shakes him a little bit and goes, "You know what you did?
Oh God, what did he do?
Get out of here, citizen. We don't need no trouble. We got this. We got this taken care of. You get on out of here. You enjoy your day."
I just kind of stand and stare at him, puzzled.
By this point, the rest of the group has kind of caught up, and the older gentleman is still like, he's turning and he's talking to the taller of the guard who has a red plume
over
his head. Oh dear, wait a moment, please.
I've been impaled.
Gentleman turns and is wagging his finger. You stay out of this. This is none of your problem.
Well, it might be my problem. I don't know. I don't know what happened. No one will tell me.
This little shit stole from my shop.
What he steal?
The kid's like, no, I didn't. The guard's like, shut up. Holds him off the ground a little bit. So the kid's feet are now kicking. And he's like, the shopkeeper's like, he stole money out of my till. He came in acting all sweet and kind, asking for sweets. And next thing I know, my purse is gone.
Does he have the purse?
And the captain of the guard goes, the taller guard who's been talking to him, it has a red plume on his helmet. And he goes, it's right here, sir. This was the stolen item, yes? And the old man's like, oh, that's right. He's like, you see? Money's been returned. The perpetrator will be disciplined and we'll carry on our day. Nothing to see here. Justice as usual. As you were. And he looks Ronan dead in the eyes and goes, so.
What? I forgot what I was doing.
Carry about your business. Nothing to see here.
What's my business?
That's up for you to decide, sir.
Oh.
I'm just here upholding the mayor's law.
Oh, where can I find them?
I'm just gonna yell over and say we
What
have an
happened
elf.
to
We have an
finding
elf to
me?
look for.
Oh yes, have you seen an elf? And I look at Plume Man when I say that.
We got a lot of those around here. You'll have to be more specific.
He has a hood, and he's very twitchy.
What?
We have a lot of those around here. You're gonna
I'm
have to be more
twitchy?
specific.
If you were an elf, where
He doesn't
would
like
you
orcs.
I would go about my business and not worry about what's happening here.
Go?
Also,
No, I'm trying to find out where my friend went.
keep heading, and he turns and he looks up at the sun. He goes, points south. He goes, keep heading that way. Head to the park. You see a park. It says sea of stones. There's not many stones. It's probably there.
Well, thank you. I will now reconvene with wherever they are.
They've all caught up to you. You are standing like it. So like all the civilians have cleared out because they're like, I don't want anything to do with this Goliath and this these 4 guardsmen.
What's going on?
Arnold Schwarzenegger just like kicked his way into the room and is like, what's happening? He's also, because I believe Ronan is still armed. So this armed Goliath with
His
javelins.
javelins.
He's got a dismembered piece of something attached to his back. And he's just like, what's going on here? And everyone else just went, I want nothing to do with it. I'd get out of javelin range, but that involves me leaving the country. Like, fuck that.
All right. Well,
Let's carry
And
on.
so the kid's like, no, don't. No, I don't want to go. You can't make me go. You're gonna help me.
where are you taking the kid?
God, Captain's like, the perpetrator will be taken into a holding cell, taken before a magistrate. He will be sentenced for his crime, for someone like this, repeat offender, community service, and some time at the range ought to do him some good. We'll teach the range where we'll teach him a trade, give him some useful life skills.
Sounds nice.
That's what I thought. He'll be taken care of with us.
Well, I hear that, little chap. You're gonna learn how to do stuff.
Kid's like, no, they're not. The range is the worst. You can't make me go to the range. No. And the kiddo.
Oh God.
So the kid like leans back and twists, and he basically puts his feet up where his hands are and just kicks. And the guards, like, he breaks free of the guard's arm. And the kid finishes the rotation, lands on his feet, takes off. He's heading, let me see if I can find out exactly where the hell you guys are. He's headed west, and he is booking. He just takes off down an alley.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, he's probably headed to the range. It sounds like quite a nice place.
Are you gonna go get him?
And the captain looks at him and he goes, "Well, go on." And they're just like, "Oh shit!" Like, clank. They like clank their way down the alley, chasing him. They're moving pretty quick for being in plate mail, to be fair. And as they run by, you realize that one of them does have tusks sticking out through the face guard of his helmet. which is a very similar half orc thing. The other one does have a red barbed tail that pokes out behind his underneath his armor.
So
it
is
just
that
like flicks out
a
for a second.
Dragonborn or a tiefling?
Tiefling.
Tiefling? Okay.
Yeah. So there's a he,
Demons!
as you see these dudes run, you see that there's a tiefling and a half orc in the guard
Is that normal?
protecting the city.
I mean, it can be.
It's give me so now is an excellent time to do a real quick history check for those of you, for the 4 of you that are in this adventure
Okay.
or this
Can I go
particular
pee
twist.
really quick?
Yeah, go pee. You're
I'm,
good for a minute, Lythar.
I'm AFK in this campaign right now.
Wait, is history a thing or is it just a perception check?
History is the thing.
Plus
history is an
0.
intelligence check.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, plus 0. So I got
I have a
a
+5 on my history.
14.
Don't forget you have inspiration if you want to burn it.
I have an 11.
I'll see.
Not
What
gonna
did DP get?
DP got
I got a 16
Mhm.
I won't
What'd
burn
you do,
mine.
Brandon?
total.
I also got a 16.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna burn mine.
Actually, Maury, since you've been here before, and actually Brandon as well, because you would have heard, you may have heard of this. Both of you roll at advantage, please.
Oh, roll again.
There's a
I
hairy
got a
pussy
19
behind you.
this time.
19 for DP. What did you do,
Yeah.
Brandon?
Is that still adding my bonus?
Yep, you still add your modifier. It's just whatever base value on the D20 is higher is the roll is what you add to.
I rolled 2 17, so 20.
Oh shit. Okay. And what was yours, DP?
I got a 14, so 19.
Okay. So the two of you know a little more than most. You've kind of been in this area. You know the story of Khorom-Vores. It started out as a dwarven stronghold when the dwarves were at like the height of their power. This was
Their
like
height.
all 4.5 feet of fucking fury.
all the door frames are 4 feet tall.
This was like this was not quite the crown jewel in the dwarven cities, but this was like the city that dwarves were most proud of because this city never fell to conquest. It pushed out into elven territory. It basically like popped at the story is that Khorom-Vores popped out of the ground one day and no one could ever break it. It came up out of the stone and it has remained stone ever since.
It's like bossing say.
Kind of like bossing say, a little less mindfuck. But like the city itself like is built to withstand everything that the enemies of the dwarves could throw at it.
Including trees.
The problem is after the dwarves held this, and this was their furthest outpost. Once you crossed through Khorom-Vores, you were in dwarven territory. Unfortunately, with the assassination of the entire dwarven royal family and with the political infighting that followed about 150 years ago, this city was conceded to the surrounding countryside and to the humans and the elves. And in that power vacuum, a very unique cosmopolitan mix of things came together. So this is one of the very few places where every single race is on an equal footing. It's kind of like Ellis Island. Anyone can be anything it's kind of like New York City is a little better. Anyone can be anything in Khorom-Vores if you can do it. If you prove yourself to be the best at something, you can do it. Tiefling in the guard, most places, like if a tiefling showed up in a town, they would run the tiefling out and try to smite them or send them back to hell where they came because they're superstitious. Half orcs are usually met with a lot of disdain. Here, nobody bats an eye. You're just a regular human dude. You're just a regular dude or lady, just like everybody else. And so this has kind of become a refuge for not just misfits, but anyone who's trying to move their way up in the world. And so seeing the tiefling and the half orc in the guard, makes sense. That's just they're good at fighting. They made it through the selection process, and now they're on the guard.
Is the captain still here?
Captain is still here. There's another. There's a female human who's taking notes. Who's taking the witness statement from our dear friend, the older gentleman in the hat. So the older guard kind of looks and he's like, "Well, looks like I have my afternoon cut out for me."
Well, you
Gentlemen.
have been very helpful. I thank you very much.
And he puts his hand over his heart, gives a little bow, and goes,
I curtsy back.
he bows and he looks up and he sees you curtsying and he's like, and he reaches down to his metal pleated, not quite, but like his metal pleating around his hips, and he's like, eh? Like,
That was
you
a
see the
very
metal-
good curtsy, sir.
Thank you. I live to serve. Pardon me. And he turns and he takes off, not down the same alley as the kid, but he starts running down the main thoroughfare. And he's got both hands on his sword to keep it controlled behind him. And he's going, make way, make way. And people are jumping out of the way of this dude. He's gunning it.
To our
Naruto
elvish
running.
friend, then.
Yes.
Is he Naruto running?
Not quite Naruto running. But he's got like his hand on the hip in his hand.
Oh no,
So
you've drifted too far. There we go.
So he's got his hand on the hilt and his hand on the scabbard. So he is in perfect control of where that blade is going. So he's not going to whack into any pedestrians or anything. That was more for a visual example, but
Nice.
so
I don't wanna
anyway,
whack anybody.
yeah. So you guys keep trucking south. There's really nothing unusual in this particular. Like you guys just keep trucking through town. You do hear more. You hear what sounds like that kid again, yelling and laughing to his friends, but you don't see him, and it sounds like it's a couple alleys over. And you guys keep coming, and as you kind of snake your way through some of the bigger roads and a couple of smaller alleys, Mari's leading the way with his automaton like pretty close behind him.
Clink, clank, clink, clank, clink.
You all of a sudden things open up and you see just this huge expanse of well-maintained park. There's benches, there's some nice hedges. There are people that are taking a late breakfast out on the grass on like a blanket or something. They brought a picnic lunch and whatever. There's a couple of fountains. There's a couple of fountains and some really nice stuff. And you see pretty far in, like coming out of the depths of this park, you see a pair of elves walking. There's a very old, the oldest elf any of you have ever seen. Normally they look pristine until they die. This one looks worn. But not in like he's been beaten down. It's the wear of like a comfortable leather, like a comfortable shoe.
He is a shoe.
He's a shoe confirmed.
He's just like he kind of just looks like he's a well-worn, very comfortable old man. And next to him is a very familiar wood elf.
I'm going to yell Lythar and wave my hand up in the air, and then I'm going to start running to him.
So real quick, Lythar, what did you do with that acorn? Are you still
Yeah,
holding,
Kendrick,
looking
where
at
did you
it?
put that acorn?
Are you still holding it, or did
But-
you put it in a pocket somewhere?
I definitely put it in a pocket, especially because of what's probably about to happen. So it's
Special-
in my
special
pocket.
pocket.
So you guys see,
Special
you
His
see
prison
like,
pocket.
you see Lythar look up, and he's like, and you see, actually, he looks like he's like situating himself a little bit, and that's when Lythar, you're like tucking that in a back pocket, where
Yeah.
it's less likely to be annihilated by this Goliath. So what do y'all do? Because
I
right now
run
you've
up
got
to
a
him
Goliath
and
running at you.
I
at
bear
full
hug him
speed.
and I pick him up and I shake him and I was like, "Oh, I've missed you, elvish friend."
It would have been funnier if you both ran at each other and then you did the.
Midair hug.
Hold him up like Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Next
I'd
time.
allow that for a performance check.
Yeah.
Both of you make a performance check, and we'll turn you into a fucking traveling troupe.
Doesn't sound like I have much of a choice in what's happening.
You can. Well, you can try and like get out of his way or like try to wiggle free of his hug.
No,
like
I'm just gonna accept it. Lythar's just. I'm like, all right. Like I like Ronan a lot, so I'm like, oh, he's a big dingus. I like this guy.
Oh, that's
Big
cute.
hole dingus.
You gave us a fright, little elf.
Although I'm surprised you didn't snap me in half while giving me a bear hug.
I'll plop him on the ground and be like, "And who are you?" And I'm Ronan, and I just hold out my hand, but it's like at head level for him.
And I kind of just go, because like I just had this giant magical like spiritual great experience, and then Ronan, hi, how are you, my so I'm just like, geez.
Welcome to most magical and spiritual experiences.
That involve a Goliath.
And so Ergen turns to Thrall, and he goes, there was no need to fear for your friend. He came and found his place here. He reconnected to where he is
Just
born
gonna
to
ignore
be.
my handshake. I see how it is.
And he turns to Ronan, and he says, and he takes his hand in a similar gesture, but this one is
Cue
just
the
like
curtsy.
the way his hand is. It's a very formal kind of bow.
I could see.
Jeez.
Ergen, like in the middle of the bow, looks up, and he doesn't look. You see one eyebrow, like this one like pale white eyebrow, and his face rise up, and he's like,
The people's eyebrow.
kind of like that. It kind of looks like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just be like. But he like pulls his hand off of his chest, and he grabs his gardening pants and does a little curtsy.
You got everybody curtsying.
His
Oh my
curtsy
god.
looks perfectly natural. And
Oh,
it's
I'm gonna
just
have
like
to
this-
practice now. That was amazing.
And he's like, "Oh, thank you. When you live as old as I have, you try not to judge people based on their greetings. Your curtsy is quite fine for one as large as yourself, Ronan.
Thank you.
And Lythar, who are the rest of your companions? Friends, even?
Now you have to tell me you're racist.
You have work friends.
Well, we never had a discussion yet. You're right. We didn't really bury the hatchet.
Nope.
No, you just talk
So
to
I kinda-
horses.
Well, so I look at him and I just say, well, as you know, this is Ronan, as I'm sure you are well acquainted with already.
Could see again.
Give me a performance check. I
At
want to see who curtsy's
disadvantage.
better. No, just a regular one. I just want to see who curtsy's
Rolled a
better.
2.
Okay. So Ronan goes to do his curtsy, and he like steps on his own foot and like kind of stumbles a little bit. And Ergen curtsies back, but his laugh he kind of starts to, you see that he's holding back laughter a little bit, and he stands up and like brushes himself off a little bit, and kind of stands there with his arms kind of folded in front of him.
I kind of just look down like, you're embarrassing me in front of my dad. Just kidding. So then I look
Dad.
I look at Lami and I say, this is Lami, the Dragonborn.
House
He likes to-
Targaryen.
He likes to hug things.
It's this guy.
Ergen looks at you, Lami, and he looks a little more intently. He goes, I thought so. You're the one.
Oh,
A fish!
Say again, Josh.
I said, give the acorn back.
You don't know I have the acorn, you dingus.
He goes, you're the one the Bahamut chose. Interesting. And
I don't like this man.
He does another very polite bow. This bow is more aggressive. It seems, and Josh, you recognize it from the a couple of sparse memories you have. This is a traditional dragonborn greeting. It's a lot like you don't you expose a little more of the neck. It's a sign of trust and agreement between dragonborns, rather than keeping like instead of maintaining eye contact, because a lot of times dragonborns are very aggressive. He closes his eyes, exposes his neck, and like does a very polite bow. He goes, "Welcome to Khorom-Vores."
I'm gonna bow back, I guess.
Show a little more dragon cleavage.
Dragon titties.
Never know.
Let me see those tiddly bits.
Where's the pineapple?
Under the sea.
I think Ronan's wearing the pineapple. His nipple rings.
Oh, there we go. Snack for later.
And then I look at Maury. Well, I look down towards Maury.
Racist.
I say, well, no, because I have to literally look down to look at him. You know, I have to look down. And I just go, and this here is our new little friend Maury. He's a great tinkerer and has great inventions and is a good friend since I've known him.
So I just kind of like salute him, and my
What's up?
automaton also salutes, and I'm just like, yo.
Kurgan pulls himself up. You hear his back crack as he comes to attention. He's like, kind of creaks a little bit, and like, but he throws up a salute, and it is crisp, it is precise, and then he like puts his arm down. He goes, "Oh, I haven't done that in a while." And does the metal friend not have a name? And he turns to Frank and reaches out his hand as if to shake his hand. Does
Frank just kind of like holds his sword and doesn't really know what to do, and I'm just like, "Yep, that's Frank," because he doesn't have a place to actually like put his sword. Just
I'm very sorry. I thought he was one of the Warforged, or I did not know he was just a automaton. My apologies. And who is and you, sir?
I kind of just sigh, like, I look at Thrall, I look back at him, and I just say, and here, this is Thrall. He has proved to be a great warrior. And that's all I say. That's all I say. So I gave you a compliment, but that's all I say.
I just kind of nod my head towards him, kind of like a hello nod, just kind of.
Ergen gives you a polite nod in response. Where's the other one?
Oh, do you mean our dwarven friend?
He's in a cart.
The one who has lost himself. Where is he?
Guys, this is not the mayor.
I know it's not the mayor, but this man seems smart. We were told to find our elf and then the other elf. This is another elf.
Chris, I love your character so much.
The man has a point.
So we have this friend who electrocuted himself, and now he's become all medley and things. He's like a little metal dwarf man. I don't know how else to describe it. It's on my and look at him.
Statuesque.
I look over at him and I just say, our dwarven friend had an automaton inside of him that we've been tracking and hunting for some time now. And he tried to electrocute it out of himself. And, well, as you hear, it didn't go so well. And now he is in a coma.
And
I
when
think
when you
the
say
thing-
when you say coma, his eyes light up. And he goes, "What did it look like?" And he does not look like 300 years old at this, but like there is a fire in his eyes that does not match the rest of him.
Well, he pretty much just fell over. And ever
I think
since
he
he's been
means what the
unconscious.
things looked like.
What was the automaton? What was the machine?
I
Was
look
it
at
him?
Lamy.
And he points at Frank. He goes, "Was it him?"
Nope,
Did it
that's
look
not the
like
one.
him?
Nope.
Don't be blaming my automaton here. All right, he's
That
cool.
one's
cool.
okay. I
I
think.
look at Lamy and I say, care to explain?
Little metal bug things. Kind of went like this.
He bends down. He sort of drops to one knee and he pulls out a trowel. Just pulls it out from his pocket.
Those are some
does a
big
quick
pockets.
He does a quick sketch on the ground. And you have the center, just a center circle and 4 articulating limbs coming out of it. And he goes, "Did it look like this?"
I don't know, did it?
Oh, I never saw them.
Yes, they
As-
look like that.
It's for like a 2-dimensional sketch. It's a little rough. He goes, "Hold on a second." And so he starts filling in more details, and you start seeing this. Even though it's a 2-dimensional image on the dirt, he starts adding depth with his trowel, and you start to see that familiar central eye looking out of multiple steel plates layered together, and the limbs that can rotate and either stand up or walk on all fours.
I'm gonna stomp on it because it's starting to look too real.
When you stomp down, it startles Bergen out of, like, he basically like was drawing and kind of started to go a little manic. He just kept drawing it, like he started mumbling to himself, and you stomp down and twist your boot into the drawing, and it snaps him out of it.
Yep,
Does Josh have
those are the
boots?
bugs. I have feet.
Boots, feet, the foot comes down and twists and just breaks up that image. And Ergen like drops back onto his ass, and he's bracing himself with his hands out. He's breathing hard.
I'm
Can
gonna
I
say,
reach
yep,
my
yep.
hand out?
Are you familiar
Bring 'em
with
up.
these robots, Sir Elf?
Those are the bugs.
He takes Lithar's hand and pulls himself up to his feet. He goes, "You said you need to talk to the mayor.
Yes.
Yep.
I will take you to him."
Should we
And he
bring the
turns.
dwarf?
I think that's the general idea here, buddy. Yeah.
He turns
He's like a big
towards
paperweight.
the road. And he's like, "Take me to the dwarf." And then
we
we'll
take
go
him
see
to the
mayor.
dwarf.
To the dwarf.
To the dwarf.
Okay.
Directly.
Does he walk or do we carry him?
No
I could
donuts.
carry him.
Ergen is moving faster. Like, you guys have to
Okay.
jog to keep pace with him and
Oh,
tell him.
jeez.
where
I didn't
to
know if
go.
he was like one of the
he's-
like so old that he like.
Lythar, when you were walking with him through the forest, it was much more of an older. He's an old man tending to his trees. Now he is moving very differently. He's moving with purpose and almost like he's moving with drive. He's got places to do, and he's got places to go, and he's got shit to do. God help the poor bastard who's stuck in his way. And that's the general vibe that you all are getting, is that this elf has suddenly found a purpose and is gunning for it. So you guys make it back to the Twist and Shout, and inside you see a boy and a girl. The boy there is about probably 21, and the girl is about 18, and the two of them are sitting and they're leaning across the bar. The boy is behind the bar and he's kind of leaning on it, and you can tell from like body language and how close their faces are on the other side of the bar that they were flirting before you guys came in.
There's not a Bible's like between them two.
No, God, no. There's room for the Holy Spirit, but that's because it's a non-corporeal being. I went to Catholic school. We had to learn that shit. So Ergen like throws open the door and comes in, and the couple at the bar just go, "Oh, Master Ergen," and they drop to one knee and basically like cover their hearts. "Master Ergen, what can we do for you?" And he just comes in. "Where's the dwarf? Where is he?"
I think he's still outside, Sir Elf.
He's in a cart with a blankie.
The head snaps around and he goes, "Well, get him."
You want me to bring him in here?
"No, I want you to get him, meet me outside, and we're going to the mayor."
I go outside and just pick up the cart like I was a horse. Like I'm Hercules from the animated movie.
Okay, I thought you were picking
go.
up like from
No,
the bottom.
no.
What the
No.
fuck?
It's like a backwards wheelbarrow.
So the horses.
Wait,
who
where are the horses? Yeah.
The horses are currently stabled. Like
Okay. I
they're
was like,
not
do you pick up
attached
the
to cart
horses
anymore.
too? Just like, all
They're
right,
not
horses,
attached to
let's
the
go.
Get in the cart.
The horses turn and see Ronan like grab the cart and pick it up and get ready to carry it, and the mayor turns to the other horse and just kind of nickers a little bit. It's a real damn shame none of you had Speak with Animals running, because that would have been a great joke.
Aw.
Forever in suspense.
And Ronan,
You have to tell me when I'm old.
Ergen comes out to the front porch and sees Ronan with a cart, and he goes, "No one is riding in the cart with that.
With that, he has a name.
Not anymore."
What? That's not how names work.
This is so dark.
It might be how names work now.
Well, how does that work then? Who are you?
Regardless, let us carry on.
Who am I?
This man is in a hurry.
I was asking Lamy who he was because he was
Okay.
arguing with me about names.
You know who I am.
Well, now apparently names don't matter, so I don't know.
Names
who you
don't
are.
matter when names do not matter when that happens to you.
Oh,
I'm going to look at him and I'm just going to kind of look in real close and whisper, "Is it contagious?"
He looks at all of you, and then does a quick glance at Lamy and leans in and goes, "If you haven't been shitting metal for the last 2 days, then no, you're fine."
I have not been. I eat a lot of fiber.
That's just to Lamy, because Lamy leaned in, and Ergen just kind of looked around and goes, "If you haven't been shitting metal, you're fine."
I'm going to look at him and go, "Well, I haven't pooped today, but yesterday was good."
I'll tell you, I'll let you in on a little secret. And he leans in real close, and he grabs you by the mail and pulls you in and is in your ear.
Mhm.
If you see any piece of you becoming metal, end it. Take your own life rather than become that.
Oof.
He lets you go.
I suddenly have this urge to shit.
Lobby slowly shits himself.
It's a fiery shit.
He goes, "Ronan,
Yes.
do you know where you're going?"
No.
Fine.
That's where he's going.
Ergen, climbs up and he sits on the front of the cart, sits in the wagon in the front of the cart. Or
Now,
the,
you
the
said
bench.
no touching the cart.
I can
He
touch
said
the
no
cart.
one's riding with, not in the front. That's a separate area.
Didn't we all touch him at one point? Uh-oh.
Let's just go.
He's like, we're wasting time.
All right.
And he goes,
I start
and
walking.
so he starts giving you directions. So
That's my card.
there's no whip, there's no reins, there's no bridle. He's just giving.
I move at a
commands.
brisk jog.
It is a steady cart bait. Like you're moving at basically the same speed as the rest of traffic, a little quicker than pedestrians, and also scaring the shit out of the horses along the way. But the fact that you have the city's master gardener driving this cart with what looks like a body in the back, rumors start, like you see people like get clearing out of the way, and then everyone's trying to get a peek in the back of this cart as you guys drive by. And as you mosey your way down the main thoroughfare, you come to a massive plaza, and you see this massive book. This is the plaza, dead center in the map for those of you following along.
But that's not where we're supposed to go.
There is a huge obelisk made of white marble with red and green threads of color running through it up to the tip. And the very tip of it is reflecting the sunlight, and it's been polished, so it's just blinding if you look up at the tip, but it's high enough up that everyone can go about their business. But you see on the side of a building the enormous book that Alice told you about, or Adam, one of those two told you about.
I just have
Adam with a Y?
I believe it was Adam with a Y or Adam with an O.
Wait,
but
is
you
this
see the massive
Iego?
book.
Who's in the back? Who's in the cart? Olaf?
Ergen.
Ergen.
Olaf. He's a snowman.
In summer. No, so Ergen is giving you
Snowman.
constructions. Ergen is the city's master gardener. And as you are driving through, you see an enormous red cross on the side of one building in what looks like Scholars Walk, because you start seeing people with books and pens and papers and bags, and people that are distracted enough that they don't jump out of the way of the cart till the very last minute. And then you start to mosey your way up, and eventually you come up through a main thoroughfare, and the road opens up, and Ergen goes, "Get ready to run. Go, Rodin!" And you feel this compulsion to sprint. You can attempt to make a whiz save if you want. Or if you want to wisdom save, if you want to resist the compulsion to run.
No, I just want to run.
I'll
I'll roll my dice anyway for the fun of it. Got a 19.
Okay. You feel that single word, run. And you want to stretch your legs. You want to do something.
It's like a dog hearing ball.
Fucking. But dog hearing mush is a little more accurate because he books it. And you take off up that main thoroughfare through Greymire and into the crust. And as you start coming into the crust, you start seeing houses. You start seeing really ritzy fucking things. And people in very fine clothes are diving out of your way because you've just moved to the center of the lane and you're just hauling ass. And everybody else is doing their best to keep up.
We won't need the horses.
As you approach, you keep moving up, and the crust is this pretty steep elevation. There's a rise that leads up to the castle, to the keep up at the very top of everything. And as you start approaching the keep, you see armed men. You see the gates opening up, and you see armed men pouring out. Probably 24 of them. The first dozen have tower shields.
Ooh.
Plant their shields and brace it, and like you just see this line of shields form up and drop.
Spartans!
And then behind you see a row of pikes form up, and the pikes lower and point down at you as you are sprinting towards them. Pell-mell, hell for leather, a dead run. And that's where we will call it for tonight.
Oh.
Ooh.
I
That's
don't
good.
Stop.
That's a good one. That's
I also don't want to stop, but